Hi everyone, my name is Wayne Pollack. I am an attorney who helps other attorneys engage the audiences that are vital to their firm's success, including their clients, their referral sources, their employees, and the media. In this video, 4 ways to vet a ghostwriter. Okay, so great, congratulations. You have decided that it's time to hire a ghostwriter to help you and or your colleagues create thought leadership marketing content like blog posts, byline articles, and client alerts. Fantastic. Now it's time to vet potential ghostwriters. But how do you even begin to do that? I'm gonna give you 4 ways to do so. The first way to vet a potential ghostwriter is to look at their background. Do they have a writing background? Do they have a legal background? Do they have both? Do they have neither? Now, obviously, the kind of background you're looking for is going to be dictated by the actual work you envision this ghostwriter doing. So for example, if you are having a ghostwriter do blog posts, client alerts, and byline articles that focus on court decisions, administrative agency actions, proposed legislation, and really the kinds of content that lawyers themselves would normally write, well, you're going to want a writer that has a legal background and is probably a licensed attorney. On the flip side, if you're looking for help with website content and other kinds of content marketing pieces that talk about maybe the firm overall, the firm's pro bono program, the good work the firm does for its paying clients, well, then you might not need someone who does legal analysis as much as you need someone who has a fundamental grasp of writing. So the first way to vet a ghostwriter is to look at their background to make sure it syncs up with what you need from the ghostwriter in terms of the content you expect them to help you with. Second way to vet a ghostwriter is by looking at their writing samples. This is great for 2 reasons. One, you get to see the kinds of material they write. Do they do the blog posts that you need, or are they only focused on client alerts, and vice versa? So you see what they're writing, you see the quality of the writing. Does it read well? Is it engaging? Or does it make you fall asleep after the first paragraph? But more importantly, it also gives you a sign and a sense of what kinds of topics they cover. Obviously, if they are covering the kinds of things that you want them covered or a particular practice group needs covered, that's great because they have familiarity with the substance. But it might be helpful for you to see how they cover other complex areas of the law to make sure that you have comfort that they can handle the analysis needed by you or your colleagues for your or your colleagues' particular areas of law. Number 3, does the ghostwriter offer some kind of guarantee or some kind of assurance that if you're not happy with the work product they provide you, they'll work on it and they'll make it right? It sounds like a no-brainer, but there are plenty of times where ghostwriters give a draft to a lawyer. The lawyer isn't thrilled with it, but he or she never tells the ghostwriter, and things just go on where the lawyer revises it, and the ghostwriter is sitting there waiting and wondering what happened with the feedback and if the lawyer liked the piece. So look at what the ghostwriter is saying proactively about guarantees, about satisfaction being guaranteed, and if not, if you don't see that in their marketing materials, then you can at least ask them, what happens if I don't like the draft? What happens if my colleague needs to revise it heavily? How do we handle that situation? And number 4, the 4th way to vet a ghostwriter is to give them a project. Give them a one-off project, a blog post, a client alert, whatever, maybe even a byline article, and see how they do. If they do a great job for you, then you know that you're on the right track and you found a great candidate for future ghostwriting projects. And if they don't do a great job, putting aside whether your satisfaction was guaranteed or not, based on point 3, but if they don't do a great job, then you pay them their fee and they go along their merry way and you go on your merry way and you know that this particular writer was not a great fit for your firm. So I've identified these 4 ways to vet a ghostwriter, looking at their background, looking at their writing samples, looking at their guarantee, and giving them a sample project. One thing I didn't mention was references. And normally you would think, well, gee, why shouldn't you just talk to other people who have used this ghostwriter to get a sense of how good of a job they do? Well, the issue is that with ghostwriting, most of a ghostwriter's clients are not willing to advertise and volunteer that, yes, they use a ghostwriter. So for that, you're going to have a difficult time, most of the time, finding references willing to go on the record and share with you that they used so-and-so as a ghostwriter and they did a fantastic job. Now, maybe if you ask the ghostwriter for one or two, maybe an anonymous written statement or anonymous paragraph, something like that, that could get you there. But the reason why I don't have references here as one of these 4 ways to vet a ghostwriter is because I don't think it's reliable. If a ghostwriter does a great job and is doing the high-level analysis that lawyers would normally do themselves, those lawyers don't want to admit that someone had a big role in creating marketing, thought leadership marketing content that was published under that attorney's name for all the world to see. Congratulations on deciding to use a ghostwriter to help with your and your law firm's thought leadership marketing content. I'm sure you'll find the return on investment will be fantastic, and it's going to be a great move for you and your colleagues. Using the 4 methods I described in this video, you should be able to easily vet potential ghostwriters and find the one that is a perfect fit for you and your law firm.